Hi everyone, welcome. As promised, this is probably the biggest video I need to make. This is the one speaking about the drop ceilings and those recessed cans that are in those drop ceilings. How do you go about doing something like that? Well, first off, it is this shape here, and I believe you can't see my cursor moving, so let me just zoom into it. Obviously we're back at the cafe. We've built millwork, we've built walls, columns, flooring. This is the drop ceiling. So there's a lot going on here. There is furniture, and there was some millwork custom built that we no longer are building, but it's part of the CAD drawing, and it's all on the furniture layer. So literally, I couldn't turn it off if I wanted to. Anyway, with that said, I am going to show you building this uniquely rounded rectangle. And I'm also going to show you turning it into a group, but also then subtracting out these recessed cans, which are nothing more than circles. Okay, so let's begin, because this, again, might take me a little bit. So I'm going to draw that shape since it's unique with the line tool. Anything, if you guys that haven't figured out, if it's custom, which a lot of what we do is, I'm usually starting with the line tool. Don't mind me, I'm taking my time wrapping the shape just to make sure I'm where I need to be. But you also just want to take your time to make sure you're getting all the points. I think I might have messed that one up. That's all right. We'll get to it and fix it. Okay. And immediately, as you know, by now, if you draw a shape and you see shading happening, you know that you have a closed plane. Beautiful. I'm going to zero in on these corners, the rounded corners. So with the 2-point arc, I'm going to draw a 2-point arc by selecting these endpoints and a midpoint, bam, and as soon as it shades, like you see, I'm going to select that edge and I'm going to delete it, which turns it into a nice clean plane. I'm going to move on to the next corner and the next and the next, so bear with me. So again, endpoints first, and then that midpoint. And again, I find the faster I go, the more mistakes I make, so I'm trying to be at a good pace. Okay, and again, same thing over here, 2-point arc. Even in AutoCAD, I think I use the 2-point arc the most, so hopefully you're familiar with it from that standpoint. And then again, the last one. And again, I probably should save soon. 2-point arc. And again, grab the edge. Whoops, not the plane. That's a plane. That's a plane. We want just that single little line as an edge. And then we've turned them all both into a plane. Beautiful. Okay, definitely save. And I'm going to do a save as really quick because I'm working on something new. And I'm going to call it out as such. And I'm going to call it a drop ceiling. Whoop. All right. And save. Okay. So the biggest thing is immediately, because I have a plane, I can go in and I can push and pull. And we're going to make these ceiling or drop ceilings 8 inches, like voila. And then the other key is I am going to change my style, my visual style, from the shaded to transparent. And this is going to help me build those recessed cans in there. I found this to be a little bit of a trick, so you might not have done it like this when we were in class, but I find that this is a little easier. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to basically draw with the shapes tool a circle, and I'm going to basically copy it 3 times, and then I'm going to make a copy of each row. So again, not too rush, but I'm going to zoom in there. What I find with curvilinear shapes, if you kind of trace around the edge loosely, it'll snap to that center point and know exactly where it needs to be. And then literally, once you have one drawn, again, no need to redraw again. Now be careful, I just did like a giant swoop in window, and you guys could see I have an edge to my arc. I am going to hold down Shift to deselect that edge so that I can copy that circle. And how you copy is through the Move tool. Select the Move tool, select, and it knew right away the center point, thank you. How you make a copy is you just select the Control key once. And literally, I believe I did it. Again, if the center line does not pop up, trace the edge, and then literally grab it again, Control. Again, I find it doesn't know the center until you trace a little. And then, again, and don't be shy to zoom in. I try to sometimes stand out. Now, I don't know if I have them all or I don't. So this is where I'll just do a little selection window here. Yep. Oh, nope. I have 3 of the 4, so it looks like I did not copy one of them. That's okay. Usually, again, it's not exactly the easiest thing to see, right? Shape on top of a shape. So, and mind you, I am not creating a new shape. I'm just going to take one and copy it. So again, through the Move tool, Control, and then again, if it doesn't notice and recognize that center point, you snap to it. Beautiful. Okay, I should have all 4 circle shapes. Yes, I do. And so again, copy. So again, put the Move tool on, find a center point. And why center point? I just find when it's curvilinear shapes, again, hit the Control key once, and then place it. So I find when it's curvilinear shapes like this, I want to select the center point because it makes life easier. I find when I select quadrants or edges, I might mess up a little quicker. So again, I am going to make another copy. Control. I think I did it. I'm not sure if I did or not. Okay, and then let's see. So again, it doesn't stay highlighted, obviously, if it's not selected. So this is where I'm going to just do a little. I'm just select. Looks good. Again, I don't need this piece here. In fact, I don't need any of that. But I can obviously deselect it all one by one or not. Okay. What's great about this is I can then my floor is off, so I can really just orbit underneath, and I can press and pull. And let's see. I have them all selected. I'm curious. I believe I can do this, but let's find out. I can push and pull. Move into the center, and literally you should be able to push and pull 6 inches. Now this is where I kind of need my transparency off, and you guys can see that I have punched a hole through there. If it makes it easier to turn on your transparency or turn it off, I think it's called X-ray. Yeah, X-ray. By all means. Yeah, I couldn't do all of them at the same time. That would have been great. That's future reference to SketchUp. But just bear with me. We get to a point where I can push and pull like that, and then again you're going 6 inches. I just want to make sure I don't go through it. Yeah, so be careful. You know, I try to move as fast as I can, but at the same time sometimes I go too fast and then I do that, or I go through it on the other end. So be careful. Yeah, you kind of don't want it to snap to anything, and you can see nice, clean, subtracted out shapes. Beautiful. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other pieces. Again, try not to let it snap to anything or an inference point, and you should be okay. Oops, again. I'm still here. I'm just concentrating on it. See what happens? Bear with me. I'm losing my model, so then the hand tool, whoop, and then literally again, push and pull. Looks like this is the last one. Should be the last one. Let's see. Okay, so again, as I turn upside down, I see openings, tracted out openings, cylinders, if you will, in all areas. If I orbit, it did not go through my overall ceiling. Beautiful. Again, I already grouped. I did not group this. So one mistake I made is I was going to group the actual rounded rectangle, but you guys actually saw, I guess I didn't need to. It actually would have made my life a little easier, but at the same time, that went pretty smooth. So I think I'll do another video when I do make it, or where I do make it a group, and show you that. But it is now time, really, now that I have my 6 openings, if you will. Oh gosh, looks like one is a little short there, so that one's not perfect. But I could fix that first off. Hold on, make it, where is this one? Yeah, so again, if it's not going up the height that it should, I want to say it was probably 3 inches shy. could be an inch off. Let's see here. And again, I'm being a little particular. You know, we're not going to have, or I don't plan on having an x-ray view for the client. So is that person going to pick up on it? No, I think I did it correctly. So again, but this is something as designers, we know when something is incorrect, so it doesn't really matter if we can see it or not. We want it fixed because, right, we're at the end of the day purists. But at the end of the day, when you build it properly, you want to go ahead and select it, all its parts and pieces, and you want to group it. So you want to make a group, and I'm going to name this drop ceiling. I only need to make one, obviously. And then I also want to move it along the z-axis, so I'm going to select here. Again, how do I know I'm along the z-axis? Because you are looking at that beautiful dashed blue axis line that I keep jumping out of there. It's black, so I'm not on the z-axis, but as I move, it'll kind of snap on its own. Our overall ceiling is 12 foot high. This ceiling plane is, or drop ceiling, I should say, is 8 inches in height. So I'm going to make the height of this 11'2". Voila, voila, voila. And when we start creating our cameras, we'll be able to see what that looks like a little bit better. And obviously, I don't need these objects off on the side. That was me playing before I began. But I do, since this is a group, I do want to make a copy of it, right? So I'm going to, again, put the move tool on. I'm going to select on the base plan, the CAD drawing, literally. So I'm grabbing this endpoint right here. I probably, again, if it makes better sense to grab a midpoint, whichever you're more comfortable. In fact, I'll grab the midpoint just because it makes a little bit more sense. Grab the midpoint. Again, how do I make a copy? You hit the control key once, and literally you will see what you need to for reference. And this is where I'll orbit a little bit for myself. I could see that they're pretty exact. I could see that they're the same height. Looks good, literally. And again, if I zero upside down or orbit upside down, let's see. Yeah, it's looking good. Yeah, looks good. So again, we're soon ready for some camera views if you don't already have them. I am going to save. And I'm going to say thank you. I hope that was helpful. More to come. And thank you for the great questions that are coming my way this afternoon. It's helping me. And we'll see each other soon. Ciao until the next video. Bye.